Lincoln, America. Welcome to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it on a Tuesday. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the Ticket Weeknights. And, of course, we kind of hinted. We've got a special guest tonight, so we'll do that. 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. If you want to add to the conversation, you want to got questions, you got comments, have at it. Hit us with a what's up. Say what's up, DP, what's up, Sam, what's up, special guest. And we will include you in the conversation. The Starter Heyman live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter live. So you can see in studio. And, oh, yeah, this is probably one that you want to be on the video stream. If you can't, jump on the app. The app is good for you. YouTube, Facebook, and otherwise you can do what we do. Let's bring in. Hey, Sam, how are you today, man? You've been busy today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Before we get too deep with and introduce the guests, what explain these things are on your feet, because I have bad feet, so I'm a foot dude. I'm a shoe guy. What are you wearing?
I don't know the exact name of them, but they're like slides that you wear after like working out. And they basically they realign your body to where you'll take less stress off parts like your back that won't get hurt, and just good for recovery in general.
First of all, I try not to have voice envy, but you keep doing this. Like, I forget every week. I feel good about my voice, and then you walk in, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I didn't win the lottery. Like, what is happening here? Like, this is crazy. Like, you get this all the time, right? Come on.
I get it sometimes.
Okay.
These situations.
Oh, my goodness. Well, would you please introduce our special guest, kind sir?
Well, you're kind of overhyping it, but here's my Fred Hoiberg, my father.
I can't overhyping it.
Ouch.
How else do you?
I'm sorry.
How else do this like? So when your mom was in, you talked about the humor and the comedy within the family. I now believe you. I now fully believe you, because that was a sniper shot. Coach, thanks for doing this. How are you?
Thank you for having me. This is really weird. I'm getting interviewed by my kid in a video show. But yeah, very, very happy to be here.
I look today, and
do you want me to hit this man's music?
I think so, because there's several things that we're going to talk about that are just not basketball related. They're just not. I'm such a Fred Hoiberg fan, but it comes from him away from the game. And I have to bring this in, and I've talked to you about it, but I haven't talked to him about it. I feel slighted. How come Nebraska basketball and Nebraska athletics didn't get velour suit Coach Hoiberg? How come? Look.
Oh, boy. Hey, Jamie, you mind if
This is can I tell you how much I fanboy over this? We play it during post-game shows.
You know, you're talking about the Infinity Coaches Challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, so let me walk you through that whole day. So I get kind of roped into doing this Infinity Coaches Challenge, and I go out. We fly into Detroit, and we did it at the Ford Theater is where we did it. So I walk in, and they give me this red velour suit. So this will be your outfit for the day. So then a guy comes in, and I believe his name was, I think they called him Socks. Socks or shoe. Anyway, I can't
Fair
remember.
enough.
So it was Jamie Dixon, who was coaching at Pitt at the time. It was Fran McCaffrey from Iowa, and it was me. So they take me to this room, and they hook me up with this guy who was my choreographer for the day. So I was in there for about 2.5 hours, and he was teaching me how to dance, if you want to call it a dance. So I get in there, and I'm in my velour sweatsuit, and I am sweating my ass off.
That is real play.
Oh, man, I was sweating. And I walk out of there, and Fran McCaffrey and Jamie Dixon are in the other room drinking coffee and eating donuts. And here I am doing sweating. So, yeah, I was the only one in the commercial that danced. But, yeah, then
it's the suit. And then Sam and I, we talked about the headband. And I was like, okay, first of all, Sam needs to market a headband. Like, that needs to be a thing that goes immediately. But I'm like, yeah, but that's the family tradition. Like, he really, like, I'm like, his dad wore the headband.
Yeah, I wore a headband one game in my career for MBA. We went out. It was an afternoon game. I believe it was in Boston, and we went out. And the whole team had headbands on, and I played horribly. So,
see, you learn. You learn right away. Okay.
Until the dance, that was the next time I actually wore a headband.
And it's not just the velour dance. There's also the locker room video.
Oh yeah.
Which I give way more cool points to, because you pulled that off smoothly. Like there was no, hey, I need to pause. I need to think about this. We call it athletic arrogance. And you went into your dance move.
Well, so we actually played in San Antonio, and we played UNC Central in the first game, who had a really good team, very well coached, and ended up having, it was a tight game at halftime. We pulled away. George Niang scored 27 points, and 10 of those at the end of the game on a broken foot, which turned out to be broken foot. So I'm doing my post-game interview with Craig Sager, late Craig Sager, great guy.
Loved him.
Awesome guy. So anyway, as right before we went on to do the interview, our trainer walked up and said, just finish the x-ray, it's broken. And you talk about just heart sunk.
Yeah.
You know, he was playing as well as anybody in the country at that time. So didn't have George. Played Carolina in the second game. We ended up winning. DeAndre Kane made a layup at the buzzer to beat North Carolina. So what popped into my head as I got in the locker room with the celebration is I got up my phone, and then the next round in the Sweet 16 was in Madison Square Garden. So I played Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z, and that's what popped into my head and did my little, it just got the rhythm into me going.
Look, it's just like, for me, being around coaches, the thing that identifies me with a coach that truly is connected is that he's willing to do a thing like that that makes his players smile.
Well, and I texted my daughter and I said, I'm sorry.
This
might be on national TV.
Apologize in advance
yeah.
for how this works. So, seriously, is there a dance in the future? Just one.
I hope so. I'll
just
say this.
one.
I really hope so, DP.
Yes,
yeah. I really hope that there is one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get in that now. Sam, are you going to be the choreographer? Or are you?
Absolutely not.
Not the best dancer in the family?
No, I wouldn't I'll give that to him or Jack. I haven't seen him dance enough, just the clips. But
we'll give it to Jack.
Jack's
that my best dance was 2.5 hours of choreography, and it took about 20 takes to get it. Because the thing about it, I had to go out in this Ford Theater, and there was like 500 students out there.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk about pressure. I mean, I can make a free throw in front of 15 million people.
Yeah, just that one. Well,
NBC, but now, to dance.
Rico and I will offer choreography.
Okay.
Like, we think we can handle that for you. You won't be able to get rid of him. He may require a jersey.
All of a sudden thrown in here.
He may require a jersey in order to do it, but I think you could get him for.
Okay, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I thought that's how that was going to work.
Whatever.
It's Friday night is big, and it always opening nights are always big, but for different reasons for different people. Sam, I'll start with you because you've been in a mental transition. Like, I need to change my place in this program. For you, what does Friday night mean to you? What does opening night mean to you?
I mean, honestly, it doesn't change too much for me just because I've been kind of like mentally transitioning from the start of the summer. And I'm just like mainly just excitement for this year because I think it's going to be such a fun year with all these new guys and all the changes. So it's more basically just getting more excited for the start of the actual season.
Coach, I mean, the work's been done, as you said. There's just blocks of time that you've been building into this thing. It's like going through labor. You've 9 months of a thing, and then you just show it to the world for the first time in whatever form it is.
Yeah, and we're changing the format this year, so it's basically going to be like an open practice, and we get about 30 minutes. And what it kind of turned into last year really turned into a bad all-star game, and it turned into a one-on-one fest. And K-Say is actually pretty entertaining.
Just for those final three possessions, right?
If we didn't have K-Say, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, exactly. So, it just kind of turned into it. So I wanted to kind of show our fans what this group is all about and, how well they communicate with each other, just how hard that they play. We won't do a ton of live, but, we'll get out there and I think show what this group is all about. And that's what I'm excited for. It's really, when you have as much time as we've had, this goes back to June when we really kind of put this group together, and we get 4 weeks with the first summer session, which I believe started on June 8th. And then you get that month, 4 hours a week. And really that was what we dedicated that time to was weight room with Kurt. So they had 4 hours with Kurt. And then it was really split into 4 small groups where we did a lot of individual type work with the guys. Each player would go with a different coach on the week or depending on what we wanted them to work on. And we would just kind of rotate. So that was the first kind of chunk of our offseason. The second 4 weeks, we really started putting in our concepts, started working on some offense. And really a lot of that time was dedicated to our defense. Really felt if we have any chance this year, and I think we have a team that's set up to be much better on that end because we're long. We have good length. I think we have good physicality with this group, and that's where it starts. So that was where we put a lot of those concepts in. And then our guys had about 3 weeks after that second summer session, beginning of August, all the way up until I believe the 23rd is when the semester started. And since we've been back, it's really been team competitive, still only 4 hours, so we're with our sports science department, which is incredible that we have what we do as far as the resources at Nebraska. And so our sports scientist and myself, every week we will map out practice, what we want it to look like, have a high-low day, low, and really try to mix the days and then gradually increase the workload as we go on. So we feel like we're in a really good place. And Friday, you get to put it all out there. And that's the exciting thing. I remember as a player, when we went out there back in our day, it was October 15th was the first day of practice. And we had no access to the coaching staff before that. So when we got in there, October 14th, or really at midnight on the 15th, is when we stepped on the floor for the first time and the fans were in the arena. So now you have this whole long buildup to what we're going to be able to do on Friday. And there'll be some butterflies. I mean, these guys will get out there. It's their first time in PBA, to shoot. It's a totally different background. And you get out there and there'll be a lot of adrenaline flowing because of the fact that we get out there. We're going to have a hard practice Friday morning as well. So this will really be kind of like a 2-a-day type practice for us. But there's an excitement with our guys, for what's in store to get out in front of our fans for the first time.
Sam Hoiberg, Fred Hoiberg on a Tuesday night. And again, if you haven't gotten your tickets, just go to Huskers.com. They're free. So you can get them now, get them on while they're available, and then show up Friday and engage. I have to be honest, after today's presser, I came back to the station and I walked in and I looked at Rico, and then I have to be honest, the last 2 years, again, we've been doing post-game shows and it's tough. Yeah, tough for me telling you how tough it is. But but I walked in and said, okay, I'm just going to be present. Like, I'm going to let this thing show up whatever way it shows up. And I walked back here today and I said, doggone it, Fred, you got me again. You got me believing again. And I came back and told Rico, I said,
he was so angry. I don't know what you did.
Like
he was so mad.
Well, for me, because Sam's been talking about defense. He's been talking about defense, which as a guy who played and a coach, I know that that's how I'm going to change a team quickest at the highest level is through defense. And so, but it hadn't been a conversation that was happening. And then all of a sudden today, I heard players, I heard coaches talk about we're going to defend. And I went, doggone it, he got me. He got me back on the cool. So what allows this team, this new roster, to be better defensively at a level that will help you be not only competitive but successful in the Big Ten Conference?
Well, let me start with this. When I met with my staff after the season, as we went into the recruiting time, right after the season starts, that's a huge opportunity, obviously, for the portal. And you have all these guys going in there. And the biggest thing that I talked to our staff about was getting players that came from winning programs that had played in the postseason and really trying to improve on our positional size, our length, and try to get some guys in here with some toughness. So we were very fortunate to get who we did, and that started with Sam Griesel. And Sam has been a flat-out winner in his 4 years that he's played at North Dakota State. He's been in the NCAA tournament. I was talking to his dad yesterday, and they played a couple years ago against the Duke team with Zion. It was a 4-point game at halftime. Duke went out to pull it out. Pulled away at the end, but he played on the big stage, and that's important. Juwan Gary won an SEC championship at Alabama. Played on a team that went to the Sweet 16. You look at what Emmanuel Bandamel has done over the course of his career with playing in 2 postseasons. Has been a back-to-back double-digit scorer on a very good team. All 3 of those guys have great leadership. That's important when you're trying to put in your philosophies on both ends of the floor, probably most importantly defensively. These guys have done a phenomenal job of building great chemistry. Sam's been huge in that. He's put together a lot of, gatherings for these guys to hang out together. That's important. Knowing, that you genuinely have a care factor for the other guy that's on the floor. So a lot of the things that we've done, as far as adding the type of players that we did with the size, and then also, the length and the toughness that this group has. We missed Wilhelm a lot last year. He was a huge part. We missed Trey last year, obviously, for what he did. He's one of the best perimeter defenders, was one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. You see what he did when he got back on the floor. We never did get to see Wilhelm, but he was able to work on his body, which was one thing that he really needed to do. He's been phenomenal since he's been here. So when you look at those guys, Emmanuel, Sam will tell you, they've played against each other, guarded each other in practice. He's picking up full. I mean, he's in right in your shorts. Denham Dawson is a guy that we had in our program last year, but he gives us, I would say, an elite perimeter defensive presence out there on the floor. Deflections. He's got the most deflections on our team that we've charted really since we went back to the summer. So, I think that's a big thing is where we started it. We've changed a little bit on what we're doing out there. But the biggest thing I think that will be a better defensive team is because we have positional size across the board. When you got 6'7" with Griesel, you got 6'5" with Vandemel, you got a 6'7" Gary. CJ's really improved his body. He's moving a lot better. His commitment to dropping 15 pounds, I think what he needed to do, he's a much different person this year, on both ends of the floor. Getting Wilhelm back, and then Blaze. Blaze has been terrific. I know Sam's talked about him a lot on the show. You don't get a big guy like that that's going to lead your team in charges very often. They go after everything. But Blaze, he gets himself in position, he gets his feet set, and he's drawing charges, and he's pissing the other guys off because he's stepping in there. Drawing charges. They don't like it. But you know what? It's winning plays. It's sacrificing your body. And, he's just he's been terrific on that end of the floor for us.
Sam, you're part of the returning crew, even being around the program, understanding the philosophies that are in play, being a practice player that, quite frankly, has to send the message. Like, whether you plan on being a leader in this program, you are. Like, it's an understanding. It's a basic thing. Rebounding is the second box to check. So it's defense and rebounding. You get to be a part of this thing. Like, you've even talked about, look, I got to be a better rebounder, even in practice, because I can force this thing. How are you going to be better on the boards? Big Ten rebounding is its own beast.
Yeah, I mean, one thing Coach Nate really likes to talk about is rebound area, which is, the biggest thing for rebound area is boxing out. So you got to find a guy and push him out as far as possible. That he says it's the space from the rim to your nose. So that's if you can create as much space as possible, that's where you can get the rebounds. And I think that's one thing I've done is I'm always looking to find guys to box out and then get as much space as possible and just use my strength, because I'm as strong as these guys, maybe not as tall, but if I can push them out far enough, they won't be able to just reach over me and grab a ball. So
it's been there. I mean, Coach, this has been the conversation since you arrived, and it's okay. Big Ten rebounding is its own thing. Bringing in Blaze, Derek staying an extra year, getting Breidenbach back, getting longer defenders at every spot on the floor. Will it be purposeful? Do you concede some offense to be a better defending, rebounding team?
Well, one of the biggest keys, in my opinion, will be Griesel in that, some of my best teams at Iowa State were with George Niang at the 5, but we had DeAndre Kane at the 1, who was 6'6", and then you had Dustin Hogue at the 3, who was 6'6" and just a junkyard dog. He actually reminds me a lot of Juwan, not only the way he plays, but the way he looks. I mean, he's got the same mannerisms as Dustin. And Dustin's one of the best winners that I've had. Emmanuel's a good rebounder. So you've got guys across the board that can help in that area. Offensive rebounding, we're going to have a different philosophy this year because I think we're going to be a much better opportunistic offensive rebounding team. Juwan, as Sam will tell you, is absolutely relentless going after the ball. Blaze will just elbow you in the back of the head. And then, when they turn around and look, he'll have a smile.
That'll be the clip that every Husker fan wants to hear.
Yeah, he's just a big fit, and he doesn't care. I mean, he's just throwing his body around out there. Denham goes after every ball. So we've got guys on this team that just, again, positional. When you have the length across the board, that really helps you in that area of finishing off the possession, which obviously we were very poor in that category a year ago.
I give you credit for how honest you've been about the program. Like, that's the thing that gives me hope, because a coach that's honest, I can work with. Like, I can support and cheer and go, okay, at least we do that. It was interesting to me to hear you talk offensively about some changes, not specifics, but for folks who understand the basic level of what you're doing offensively, it means less one-on-one ball and more pass ball sharing. You were asked a question today at the presser about what defines too much passing, too many passes. How will the informed Husker basketball fan describe this offense when he sees it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very unselfish team, and that's the thing that we've really preached with this group. Last year when we really got it going at the end of the year, when our offense really started to click, we run a lot of handoffs into misdirection type ball screen actions. And Alonso, say what you want. He was unbelievable offensively down the stretch. I mean, he really had it going. Bryce got much better as the season went on. And was a leading freshman scorer in the country. But there was too much ball stoppage on the floor. So we really wanted to change some things. I went back and looked at all the different things that I've run over the course of my career, which has been, I've got my staples, but I've run different things depending on the type of talent that I've had on the floor. I ran different things in Chicago, when I had an older team than when I brought in a group of young guys. So the offense that I've put in is a lot of the things that we ran with some of those younger teams in Chicago. And, it really does promote ball movement. This team has made the extra pass sometimes to a fault. We've done a better job of playing under control. When Blaze comes outside that lane early, we were trying to challenge and go around him. And that's where he was drawing all those charges, playing off 2 feet, reverse pivot, getting that thing kicked out. And that's where we have that pull behind action on the drive. We're doing a better job of making those simple plays as opposed to trying to hit home runs. And our turnovers have gone down as we've gone on. So, to me, what defines that as far as offense, it's just making the right play, making the simple play. You don't have to hit home runs, hit singles. And, when the defense is in there, don't split, make the simple play, and then, our offense is really designed to try to draw 2 to the ball. And if you have the floor space properly, you're going to get something accomplished. You're going to get a good quality shot. Hopefully it goes in. They're not all going to go in, but if you take a good quality, high percentage shot, that's what we're looking for.
That's been the thing. I mean, even last year, that there were some games where it looked like the right shot and it should have gone down and it didn't. And you go through that. But it's great to look forward to. So what we'll do, we'll go to break. When we come back, I'm going to get out of the way and let Sam ask the first question to his dad and get out of the way of that. And then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about this offense and this roster with 4 returning lettermen and just a bunch of veterans. While it's a new roster, it's not an inexperienced roster. And I don't want to confuse the two. We'll do that when we come back to Ticket Weeknights.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Need to send a message? Send it with cake. Congratulations. Here's a congratulations chocolate rum cake from Beatrice Bakery. Thank you. Say thank you with an amaretto cake. I'm sorry that I accidentally hit your mailbox with my car as I was backing out of the driveway and then continued right into your prized petunias. You say that with a lemon drop cake. Everybody knows that. Beatrice Bakery in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Here to help you say whatever it is you need to say. Welcome to our world of yum.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Lincoln loves local business. What better way to support local than to drink local? Don't miss Lincoln Craft Beer Week beginning September 26th and continuing through October 2nd. You can't go wrong with 14 different local breweries, cideries, distilleries, and more putting on events to get you familiar with Lincoln's craft beverage scene. For more details on participating venues and Lincoln Craft Beer Week, visit lincoln.org/beer tour. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. Remember to enjoy responsibly.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Sam Hoiberg Show. Special guest, head basketball coach, Fred Hoiberg. And we appreciate you once again making time. I want to keep saying it because it is important. I need to be appreciative of the fact that you're going to make time to do this. Yes, your son is here, but you still make a decision, and it's important. 402-464-5685. You guys have been curious. Curious. That's the best word for this basketball program. But I wanted to get out of the way for a couple of minutes and let Sam ask his dad a question. I think it's fair.
Well, a little bit different topic, but I was wondering, what was your favorite or the most fun part of your NBA/college career?
Oh man, that's a great question. I loved all 4 years in college. Went to 3 NCAA tournaments. My junior year was the 1 year we didn't make it, and our center actually had an accident that year. So Lauren Meyer, actually, they tried to beat the crossing, whatever you call those things on the train tracks, the railings that came down, and they got hit by a train. His car. He's actually very lucky, that he wasn't killed, but he broke a bone in his collarbone and he broke a bone in his back. and we were rolling at that time. So if Lauren would have stayed healthy, I think we would have made the tournament all 4 of those years. But had some great moments, in my college career. NBA, it's, as all people that dribble a ball. I mean, that's what you dream of doing. And, the fact that I made it for 10 years, would have been longer if not for the heart condition and the surgery. It was a dream come true. So I guess the most fun, if I had to pick a moment, was the Western Conference finals run that we made when I was in Minnesota. Had unbelievable. We beat Denver in the first round. So Minnesota, the Timberwolves had made 7 consecutive playoff appearances, but never got out of the first round. So that was the year that Latrell Sprewell, Sam Cassell was brought in. KG was the MVP that season. And a lot of times, so I came off the bench, but a lot of times I would finish those games and Mark Matson would be the other guy. He'd get offensive rebounds. He'd take charges. He'd do all the dirty work. And I'd stand in the corner and make a 3 every once in a while and just kind of got out of the way and let those 3 other guys go to work. But we beat Sacramento in 7 games that year in the Western Conference semifinals. And that was Mike Bibby. It was Doug Christie, it was Stojakovic, it was Chris Webber, and it was Vlade Divac. So they had a great team with Anthony Peeler coming off the bench. And we beat them in 7 in a crazy game. It was a low possession game. It was the single best performance I've ever seen in a basketball court. Kevin Garnett at 34 points and 22 rebounds in a 96-93 game. And I was standing under the rim. Chris Webber, they ran a great play. They threw a cross-court pass with 3 seconds left. He pump faked KG, flew by him, sidestepped, relocated, and shot a 3. And I'm standing underneath the rim, and that thing looked like it was going right in the middle of the hoop. It hit every part of the rim and bounced out, and I got the rebound, and we beat Sacramento. We went on to play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals that year, and that was one of the first super teams that was put together. That was Shaq and Kobe, and then brought in Karl Malone and Gary Payton. And Sam Cassell got hurt, so he got hurt in Game 7. Sam was our finisher. KG would get us there, and then Sam was the one on a lot of nights he was like Mariano Rivera. He would close the games for us. So Sam got hurt. And I started at point guard in that series. I never played point guard in my life. I mean, I could shoot a ball, but I couldn't dribble a ball. So at first possession, Derek Fisher picked me up and basically just took the ball from me. And the rest of the series, I'd get it and I'd throw it back to Garnett, who was a rebounder, and I'd run down to the corner and make a couple of shots. But that was my only turnover in the series, DP, by the way. So, but anyway,
I'm a fact checker. Go ahead.
That's neither here nor there.
It's good.
You can fact check that one. But so anyway, so we still took the Lakers to 6 in that series. And, one of my most memorable shots, because he was one of my favorite players, competitors ever, was Kobe. And, I played against Jordan, I played against Kobe, and I actually played against LeBron his rookie year. But it was a late Game 5, and I had a play where I pump fake Kobe, and I took a dribble and kind of double clutch, and Kobe tried to get me from behind and hit me in the head. And I got an and one, which was a critical play late in that game. So, I guess that series, that run that we made in the 10-year career that I had, just because I had a big role in that team. We made it when I played for Indiana to a couple Western Conference Finals, most notably one against the Bulls in that last championship that they won that was kind of featured on The Last Dance. But I didn't play much on that team. I really didn't play at all, except for one game where Jalen Rose left the bench in an altercation and he was suspended. So that was the one game I played in that series. But, that was the most fun I ever had because the city of Minneapolis was just so engaged, and the town shut down on all those nights. And it was special. It was a lot of fun. Good question, Sam.
Look at him go. I'll get out of the way. Stay there. Feed the hot hand, man. Let's go.
Well, I have a different question, though, kind of for the Nebraska fans, but can you explain your games against Nebraska in college?
Yeah, we had some great ones, and those were fun teams to compete against. Starting with the games that we had with Piatkowski, and played against Bo Reed when he was later in his career. Bruce Chubbuck, and those teams were so good and physical. My senior years when we played against the team with Jerron Boone and Eric Strickland and Mikey Moore, and I think we got them both places here. In fact, I banked in a shot at Devaney Center on one of the last games of the year to win the game. against Nebraska on the road. But they got us pretty good those first couple of years, especially those games in Lincoln.
When you think of your young man with a microphone and a show, what gives you comfort that this young man is doing the right thing? This is a good step for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of him, and proud of all 4 of our kids. Our daughter is she went to Kansas, and when she went, that was kind of our rival at Iowa State in the Big 12 conference when I was coaching there. And, had some great wins at home and had a chance at their place on one of the best games I ever coached in. Ben McLemore banked in a 3 that hit the top of the square to send it to overtime after we missed a free throw late in the game. But, our daughter went to Kansas, and I wrote the tuition check to cash. I could not write it to Kansas. But we're proud of Paige. She's working for the Big Ten Network and lives in Chicago, doing a great job. Our son Jack, who played at Michigan State for 4 years, unbelievable to have that experience under Tom Izzo. That team I talked about earlier was Zion that Sam Griesel played against. We were at the Elite 8 game, our whole family in Washington, D.C., and they beat that team to go to the Final Four. One of the most special moments, our family, to be able to celebrate that. Then went on, graduated from Texas Arlington, played his 5th year there, and he just got hired by the San Antonio Spurs. So we're really proud of Jack. And then Charlie, Sam's twin, is having an awesome experience down at TCU. Probably the smart one. He's the one that didn't play a sport. These other guys. But about Sam, I couldn't be more proud of where he is right now and the type of impact he's had on our team, especially with this year's group. I think he really understood and accepted the leadership position. Even though he didn't play last year and he redshirted because he saw what our team needed. And, he really was the guy, I think early at least, that got everybody together. When you bring all these different personalities and players in from different parts of the world, to be able to get this group together, especially early, and bring them over to his apartment and, just have a lot of, time together. And that's important. So, Sam's got a great future in front of him. Whatever direction he wants to go, we're certainly going to support. He wants to coach, which I'm trying to talk him out of.
But my mind is being swayed a little bit by the broadcasting.
But you as a high school coach, you as a play-by-play guy. I mean, you got the pipes for it. So
I mean, you've been saying that, so that kind of got my mind.
You have
maybe TV would be good. So.
Well, I mean, you have the brain for it, you have the personality for it, you have the history behind it, you care about it the right way, right? So your ability to tell the truth about it is important, and it's needed.
And the good thing, he looks like his mother, so he has a face for TV. Where I'm more.
I got nothing for that.
Yeah.
I got nothing for that. We said when she came in, I was like, okay, I get it. I understand. I understand now. For me, it's interesting to watch you two together because it confirms to me a thing that I thought, and you guys can please correct me if I'm wrong. But you guys care about each other and the game the same way. It is intense. It's passionate. Where's that come from?
Oh, I think, the way we were raised, I think, certainly plays a huge part in how we try to raise our kids. I'm very fortunate with my parents who both went to the University of Nebraska. My dad got his PhD in 1974, and that's when he moved our family to Ames. So I was born in Lincoln. I was 2 years old when I moved to Ames. And, that's really what I considered my home. But we always came to Lincoln when I was growing up. And, both sets of grandparents were in Lincoln. My grandpa, Jerry Bush, who coached here for 9 seasons. So he actually was raised in Brooklyn and played at St. John's, which is going to be pretty cool for us this year to play there where my grandpa played collegiately. So my mom's actually going to come on that trip. My parents are, so to be coaching in the same place where he finished his career, but to be able to play, at the same university where he played collegiately, that's going to be pretty cool for our family. He played in the old NBL, so which eventually turned into the NBA. Right. So he played 10 seasons, most of them for the Zollner Pistons in Fort Wayne. He got into coaching at University of Toledo and then finished his career at the University of Nebraska. So that's how my mom's side of the family got to Lincoln. And then my dad, his father was a professor. He was a sociology professor for a lot of years at the University of Nebraska. So my dad followed in his footsteps. He became a professor at Iowa State. My mom was an elementary school teacher. So, education for us growing up was the one thing we knew we had to do. It wasn't about sports. My dad was not an athlete. My mom claimed she was a great athlete. She was a very good diver, so they just raised us to try to be good people. And, I think talking to Carol, we never pushed sports on these guys. We never pressured them in any way. It's crazy sometimes when you go into a gym and you just see, sometimes parents just overwhelming their kids. You certainly are going to support them, and, you're going to do everything you can to help them, whatever direction life takes them. But, we certainly have never tried to pressure them in anything. They are very passionate. Our daughter Paige was a great basketball player. I think she had 38 in her last game in high school. But, she had no interest in playing. She just wanted to go to college and have fun. And, Charlie was the same way. Probably, Sam, you'd probably admit to this. Well, maybe you won't, but he's probably the best golfer in our family.
I'll give him that.
He won the districts, and I think probably could have played in college, but he just wanted to go and have fun, which is great. He wants to be a lawyer, which you'll also agree with this, which is a perfect for him because he's never lost an argument.
Very true. Yep.
So
well done.
Yeah. But, we just, again, try to do the best we can to support him and, try to do things the right way. And, certainly through experiences that we've had in life, obviously we're not perfect, but we just try to be there for him, whatever we can do to help.
I want to say this last year, this station of the boys and girls state tournaments, we did 32 of 36 games, which is insane. The beauty of it was in that process, you had players on your roster who would come down and do the analyst work with us. And Derek Walker came down, Bryce came down, Trey came down. They'd all sit next to us and call the games. I'm offering you that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're first at Derek will fight you for it, but
yeah.
First at the table just to get some reps in and get it done.
Sure.
Before we go to break, I'll ask you this. If we could make a shirt with a quote from your dad, what would be on the shirt? What's the thing that in your head your dad says to you so much that you carry it with you?
We may want to need the break for that one.
Well, the first one that comes to mind is hold your follow through, stick your landing, shot for your shot.
Yeah.
That's over and over.
Yeah.
So, but I'll think of another one.
Okay. We'll throw the break. We'll finish with Sam Hoiberg and his dad. Yeah, just his dad. We'll do that next.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Casey's General Stores is giving away 2 tickets to each Nebraska football home game this season. To enter, just head to any Casey's General Store location in Lincoln during the football season, scan the QR code at the front counter, and fill out the online form. One winner will be chosen at random 2 days before that week's game. So head over to Casey's, stock up on all your tailgating snacks and drinks, and register to win 2 tickets to a Nebraska football game, brought to you by Casey's General Store and 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm Chris Jackimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure.
That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect sunny skies and another beautiful fall day. We'll top out at around 78. Winds turning out of the north-northeast at around 10. Tonight, mainly clear, a low down to around 41, so it will be a chilly night and a cooler day for our Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine again, but a high of 69. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment. We appreciate you guys hanging out again. Greatly appreciate it. I know you guys are on the text line. We'll rattle through some of the text, so we'll get as many responses as we can. But Sam, that question again, that shirt that will end up in your NIL package is the shirt with a quote on the front from your dad and your dad's name on the back. What's the quote?
Yeah, this quote, it just hits deep emotionally because he said this last week to the team. It's don't be a dick.
Which
hits
works.
so deep. Yeah.
We need more of that. Like we need that.
It's simple.
But I'm not sure we could put your dad's name on the back of the shirt. Like I don't think we could do that.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll try again next Tuesday. We'll figure that out. Coach, so Friday's big. An introduction for a lot of folks, Husker fans, to actually see the athletes that you have on this roster, and with 4 returning lettermen and then returning support on the bench. But you got some transfers in. You got some dudes. Give them the elevator pitch on Blaze Keita.
Yeah, he's picked things up much quicker than I thought he would. I knew I liked Blaze in evaluating him in his game. He's just, first of all, he's this absolute teddy bear of a kid off the floor, just an absolute sweetheart. And on the floor, he's just, he's got that nasty streak to him, which you have to have. And, what he's done for us being the anchor on the defensive end has been phenomenal. And, I think he's got an opportunity, playing against certain lineups to really be able to score the ball. He's got a really nice touch. He can make his free throws. He's got a good little jump hook in the lane. He can step out and knock down a shot. But what he does defensively for our team the thing that I'm certainly most excited about.
Sam, Sam Greasel and Blaze are getting some of the headlines, but you've got some. I mean, Emmanuel's is a guy that's going to help in several ways. Give the elevator pitch on Emmanuel.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an absolute dog on defense. I mean, if anyone that I don't want to go against, it's him and Denham, especially because he'll pick up full court when we're going 5-on-5 live, and you like what he did when he played against Derek Fisher. You just get out of your hand as quick as you can.
Yeah, it's his work.
Corner.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, his length, athleticism, defensively, he's going to be great, and he's been shooting it really well lately too. So he's going to be huge for us.
Coach, you've mentioned Denham several times. Give the elevator pitch on this young man that they'll see Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that the first practice that he was here. He showed up at semester last year. He got us all his core classes completed, so we were able to get him early, and we knew he was going to redshirt. There was times I thought about stripping that red shirt last year. But
could have used him.
It wouldn't have been fair. It would not have been fair to him. So, again, we've really been working hard on his shot. He's starting to step out and shoot it with more confidence now. But defensively is again where he's going to have his best value.
Coach Juwan Gary, what are we getting?
Again, just a guy that does a little bit of everything for us. Just goes after everything. Shooting the ball better. I think he was a 23% 3-point shooter at Alabama. What we at first when we evaluated his shot, he really leans over to his left side. He shifts his body weight onto his left side. He's been really diligent. He gets in the gym pretty much every day. And has been working on that. And again, he's shooting the ball at a much higher clip. Does that translate once you start playing games? We'll see. But, just a really, really hard worker. Another guy, just because of his makeup, will help us not only defensively, but rebounding, I think, on both ends.
Quiet kept. Rico's favorite player. He screams this thing all the time.
It's not quiet at all.
It's 8 letters, and he just screams it. Free Oleg. Like, what's the word on Rico's favorite player?
Yeah, Oleg. He obviously redshirted a year ago, and he has really improved, and I'm proud of him. I mean, another guy he's in the gym as much as anybody. And he had a real kind of funky knuckleball when he showed up. So he worked hard on that in his season, development. And his footwork in the post, he's really improved there. He's got a nice touch. He really does have a nice touch in the paint. So we'll see. He's a guy that's continued to improve. He's got 2 great players that he's learning from in Derek and Blaze. But I really do think Oleg has a bright future in front of him.
Friday night, PBA. Get your tickets. Go to Huskers.com. They're free. Just go get it. Show up. Support the team. Do your thing. In closing, Coach, let me say, as we do, we tend to try to make smiles. When your wife was here, we sent her home with some goodies. Our friends at Beatrice Bakery put together a couple of cakes for you guys to take with you, just to say thank you for your time. Thanks for what you do in the community. And hopefully at some point when you take a bite, you smile and it makes your day better. Sam, well done, kind sir.
Yeah,
Coach, greatly appreciate it. We're looking forward. We'll be there Friday. Husker Nation's waiting. They're waiting. That'll do it for the Sam Hoiberg Hour. Don't go anywhere. Uncut with Kyle Perry, Husker Baseball. Up next here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway.
There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
An entire week celebrating Lincoln's Craft Brewers is just around the corner. September 26th through October 2nd is Lincoln Craft Brew Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer tour for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but